Okay, we're back in our document and we want to add a little bit of space before and after this highlighted row. Now, how we go about that is we want to highlight the row, which it already is. Page Layout tab. Increase before up to 12 point. Increase after up to 12 point. And as you can see, we now have some additional space above and also below. Now if we wanted to see how this would look like if we were to print it, we could go into Print Preview. Hold down the Control key and hit F2. Now what's showing right now are the grid lines. Sometimes you might want to show the grid lines. At other times you might want to hide the grid lines. So if we want to hide the grid lines, these are the steps that you would take. You would want to go back into your document. You're back in your document. We're looking at our table. We want to highlight the entire table. You highlight the entire table by clicking on this button here, four-way arrows. Everything is now highlighted. Underneath Table Tools, you would click on Design. Over here to the right, we would come to Borders, hit the down arrow, and click on No Borders. If we look at this using the Print Preview, Control F2, you can see that the borders or the grid lines are no longer showing. Go back into our document. Click on Design. And if in fact we wanted to have these borders showing so that whenever we printed the document they would be appearing, you would come over to Borders, or Borders. So we have our table and our document and we're ready to print. Next thing I want to do is we want to work again on tables, a little bit more on tables, and then work with tabs within tables. So let's come into our document and then hit Control Enter, which will take us to a new page. We're going to create another table, so we're going to go up to Insert, Table. We're going to create a 2-column by 4-row document. Left click, and we have our information right here. In that top row, what we want to do is we're going to highlight that top row, and then we're going to merge the cells. So we're going to highlight it. The entire row is highlighted. Right click, merge cells. Okay, so we have our merge cell inside of a table. Within this merge cell, we're going to create a tab stop that's right aligned. Now there's a few different ways of creating tab stops, but probably the easiest way is by coming up here up in the left hand corner and you see a button. If you hover your mouse over it, it's showing left tab. That's the default in terms of putting in or placing tabs. If you click on it once, it will change. It's a toggle. And the next one would be a center tab. Click it again, and you have a right tab. Click it once more, and you have a decimal tab. Click it again. We have a bar tab. One more time. We have a first line indent tab. Click it again. And we have a tab that's called hanging indent. And I'm going to click it one final time to bring us back to the default, which is a left tab. Now within our merge cell, what we want to do is to create a right tab. So the first step is to change the buttons here. I'm going to click it once. I don't want a center tab. Click it again, and it's coming over to a right tab. Now once again, by hovering the mouse over the button, you can see how that tab is set up. It is set up right now as a right tab. And I want to place it way towards the end of that cell. So I'm going to click over here in the ruler. I place my mouse over it. It is showing a right tab at this point. Now, we're within the cell. What we're going to do is we're going to type in our name. Now, to activate a tab when you're within a table, what you need to do is hold down the control key and then tap the tab key. Once again, when you're within a table, how you tab over is that you must hold down the control key and then tap the tab key. Holding down the control key, hit the tab key. What you see appearing now is an arrow. That arrow denotes that you've done a tab, that you've hit the tab once. And notice how it's taken us way over to the right, underneath here on the ruler. If you point your mouse over here, it's saying it's a right tab. Now if I was to put in my email address, you can see how it comes over to the right. Now we're going to hit enter. We're still within that merge cell. And we're going to put in our address. Now we're going to hit the tab again, keeping in mind that we're within a table. So we're going to hold down the control key and hit tab. Takes us way over to the right, and now we have the ability to put in a telephone number. Now looking at this merge cell, everything is all scrunched up. So we would probably want to give ourselves some additional space. So I could click up here on that first line, click on page layout, and increase my space before, probably to 12. Come down here to this second line, click within that second line, and increase my space after to 12. Once again, it's standing out much more. Now we're going to come down to this second row and we're going to type in product. Hit the tab key and now type in price. Hit the tab key. Our first product will be A. Hit the tab key and our price will be $1. 1.00. This case I'm not putting in the dollar sign. Hit the tab key. Our next product is B. Hit the tab key. And the price for product B will be $100. 100.00. Hit the tab key. Product C. Hit the tab key. And we'll make this price $1,000. 0.00. Now let's hit the tab key one last time. Product D, tab key. And for this price, it's going to be 1 penny, 0.01. Now, in looking at this information, we can see it's not lining up. Specifically, the money, $1, $100, 1,000, 0 cents. Ideally, we would want that all lined up. And the way to do that is by using tabs. Specifically, and once again, we're dealing with the money information lining up so the decimals are all lined up. How you do that is by coming up here once again and then changing the tab. Right now it's showing right tab. If I click that again, it is now showing as a decimal tab. And that's what we're looking for. What we want to do is highlight this information within these cells. It's the money information. So we're highlighting the money information because we want them to line up properly. Highlight it. It's changed over to decimal. And now I can click on top of my ruler, probably in this area right here. Left click. You see that tab line showing. Release the mouse, and now everything is all lined up. What we would probably want to do is take that top row, make it all bold, center it. The information in this cell right here, or these cells for our products, highlight them all, probably make them bold, and also center them. By using the tables, we have our information in a clear, concise manner. It's formatted in that way. With our tabs, we can once again highlight this area, go up to our decimal tab, and we can actually move it over slightly. Makes it very easy to do that. And that is our information, or concludes our information on tables.